Hi everyone, this is Elena of the Witch's Box, and I'm here today with another episode of Witch Booktube. And today we're going to be talking about Evoking Jupiter by Anousen Leonte. So here's the book. Excuse the reflection there, but I've got quite a few lights in this room. But there is the cover of the book, Evoking Jupiter by Anousen Leonte. And as always, you all, I'm sure, know by now that we've been covering his books for a while. They are all on digital. Links to how to get these books are down below, as well as links to all the previous reviews that I've done for his books up until now. So if you've been following along, I wish I could remember all of the books that he's alluded to this type of work before, but most of them will cover this. So the gist of this book is how to use sigils to evoke the energetic of Jupiter, the planet, and it's energetic, right? And so I think it was the book titled Sigils for Evocations that he talked about using sigils just for the mere pleasure and pursuit of knowledge of evoking different entities, spirits, energetics in order to get into a conversation with it and learn about it, not necessarily about magic or manifesting a specific thing, just for the sake of engaging in that energetic to learn about it, to see what it has to say. So Evoking Jupiter covers that, specifically for the planet of Jupiter, Saturn, and I want to say Mercury. He covers the last two just as an aside because they are well suited with Jupiter. But he also talks about evoking and using sigils in ritual to evoke Jupiter as a way to manifest certain things in your life. So you've got both aspects there. He also covers a lot of correspondences for the planet Jupiter, the color lamps to use. He offers you sigils that he's created as well for different aspects of this planet and other planets, and so you get that to use as well, unless you want to make your own, which he encourages. It's a very short book. This is just specifically on using all the tools that he has given you before and using them specifically for a relationship with Jupiter. What I really love about this is that for those of us who are astrology amateurs but love and follow it, it is really a powerful way to really get in touch with what each of these planets does for us in terms of how they influence us in the universe and how their movements influence us. It's a way to really begin to create an intimate relationship with each of these energetic movements. And I think that that's really incredible and potentially very powerful. And I also think that it would be really powerful for people who are astrologers. Maybe they are already doing this work, or maybe they're not. But if they're not, I think that as a way of deepening their work, it can really facilitate a very powerful, intimate relationship with all of the solar bodies if you engage in them in this way. And I think it's such a beautiful practice. I wanted to really quickly look for a couple of quotes that he has in here because, as always, I love his take on just about everything. And I'm finding that, I know I spoke about this last week, where I had originally felt this longing for all of his books to just be one big tome. And then that last week I sort of changed my mind about that because when you read these little slivers, these books are so short. They take about 30 minutes max to read, sometimes 40. But they're so jam-packed with information that getting them in these small bite sizes allows you the ability to absorb it and to integrate it, right? But now, this week, I'm feeling like I want to print all of these digital books out and create a notebook for myself of all of this information so that then I can add my own work in it, almost like a working grimoire or a working Book of Shadows where I've got his information, but then my notes on my experimentations with each of the things that each of these books speaks about. So we'll see, because I'm really tempted to do that. I've got big binders that are empty that I save because I'm a stationary junkie as well. And I thought one of these big, like 5 inches, right, would be really great for using each of these books almost like a chapter and then adding to the end of those chapters or sections in my notebook of my own personal notes on the things that I've done so far and the experimentation that I've done so far. So anyway, that's a tangent, but that's sort of the new urges that I'm having because I just love so much of what he does. So really quick, I'm just going to throw a couple of quotes out to you. One of them is just to kind of give you an idea of Jupiter if you don't know. Jupiter indeed is the planet of progress, forward motion, expansion, and development. It is one of the most powerful planets, rivaled only by Saturn and the Sun. This is why he talks about it. From the chaos magic perspective, Jupiter is one power among many and has a particular flavor. The details of how you evoke this power are not important. What is important is what you bring to the table in your evocation. Chaos is not only disorder, chaos is also order in certain seasons, and can be used to cause patterns and progress in a magical setting. Jupiter is chaos when frozen and crystallized as a force. It causes naturally chaotic situations and events to resolve themselves and to change and follow a more harmonious pattern. And again, for those of you who are just actually picking these videos up on these books, he is, from what I see, a chaos magician, although for the next video we're going to be talking about his perspective on the Gnostic tradition or the Gnostic philosophy, so that'll be really interesting to cover. Let me go back to my quotes. Yet it is a principle of chaos magic that one must have full confidence in the effectiveness of a ritual in order for it to be effective. The more you believe in its power, the more powerful it is, and yet, once the ritual is over, you can disbelieve it entirely. The power has been released and set in motion, and your belief and disbelief no longer has any power to stop it. Which is one of the reasons why I just continue to gush over these books, is because he gives you an idea of what it is behind the magic that is making it work. And then he also says, you don't have to believe what I'm telling you. You can go ahead and see for yourself, which I really appreciate because it continues to make us our own personal scientists in our magical methods. Let me go on because there's a couple of things that I really want to share. This is an interesting conversation that I want us to have somewhere, and perhaps maybe in the book subscription we'll have a book that touches on this so we can have this discussion on the forum together. But he writes this, and I think that there's a lot to unpack here and there's a lot to explore here. It's why I love sigil witchery so much. But this is the quote. Essentially, the human mind is more powerful than the modern, consumerist, scientific paradigm would have us believe. The mind can cause and know things beyond what matter allows. Magic is none other than this, the art of instigating and activating our psychic powers within the ritual setting. I mean, this is kind of the basis for everything, seriously. Really, really is. I love his books because even when he's not talking about the topic of the book and he's giving you just an aside, it's so powerful and it's so educational. You guys, are you sick of me gushing about him yet? Because seriously, we have a few more books and then we're done. However, there are about 5 or 6 books here that are about ancestral work that we're going to be talking about. Probably I'm going to start layering in those reviews in the next week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, just because we are gearing up for the October subscription box that ships October 1st. And that box is all ancestral worship and all ancestral work. It's really exciting. And so what I want to do is layer in a lot of books so that if you want to dive into that deeper, you have all these reviews. And I also want to just take this moment to say, I know another tangent, but to say that September 15th is the last day to subscribe to the Witches Box in order to make sure that you get the October 1st book. By the time I start doing those reviews on the ancestral books, it'll be too late to get the box. So there's that. In any case, let me return back to Anousen and say that there are some of his books that are educational for the sake of education. I think that something like Working with Planets and their signs in this way of evoking them through sigil work can be very powerful, particularly for those of you who really love astrology and want to go deeper into astrology. I think that this is a way to get you a very intimate relationship with the planetary energies, with the signs' energies. It's a beautiful, beautiful, I think, doorway that we don't really talk about a lot. I'm also very curious to know if any of the astrologers out there, because I know we have quite a few who watch these and are part of the subscription box and are part of the blog reading. Do you do this and have you done this? I would love to hear if you've established this kind of an intimate relationship with each of the planets, because I think it's just really exciting. And it also opened my mind up to realize that evoking with sigils can be done with anything. Anything. It can be done with weather patterns, it can be done with seasons, it can be done with the elements, it can be done with all of the planets and even stars. Can you imagine? And again, I'll touch on this again in the next review for the next book of his that I have. I'm really being fed in a really profound way by all of this reading that reflects more on the learning aspect of witchcraft, the expansion aspect of witchcraft, as opposed to just magic for the sake of bringing things to your life. I know I talk about this a lot, and I don't want it to sound like I don't think that spells are cool or that they are of use. I think they are. I am using spells on the daily. However, there is a whole other aspect to witchcraft, which for me is almost the spirituality of witchcraft as opposed to the magic of witchcraft, which for me are two different things. I think one is the foundation for the other that I'm really, really enjoying. And so it's also part of what I really want to focus on as much as possible when we get into the book subscription and the forum and the book club gatherings online, because there's just a rich wealth of places that we can go with our witchcraft spirituality that is just, I mean, I just can't get enough. Obviously, I made my whole business, my career, my life about it, so here we are. And we're going to keep talking about it. So this book I recommend. I particularly recommend for those who are interested in astrology in any way and understanding and learning about the planets and how you can be in a relationship with them. I'm giving this, of course, another 4-star over on Goodreads and probably Amazon. I think those things communicate with each other. And yeah, I will be back next week or for the next video with another Anousen book. If you have read it, if you're still reading along with me, please let me know where you're at in the comments below. And please remember to subscribe to this channel and ring the bell by the red button so that you are notified whenever there are new additions to this channel. And we are now at a place, because of all of you, where we have enough followers that YouTube has allowed us to have the community section of our channel open. So if you have questions, if you have anything that you want to comment that isn't necessarily related to a video, please add it there. And we will have dialogue about stuff there as well. All right, have a wonderful week. Bye.